the terrain of literature as being this space where you can pose these paradoxes of personal and political ethics. The Sea of Despair, that's what his Nona had called the Turanian, though she had been a bleak personality. To ask her for directions was to receive a tour of her private cartography of doom. Left at the vegetable stand of decay, straight until the apothecary of humiliation.
Has writing always been really important to you? Has it been something that's always been there in your life?
No, it was, I graduated high school in 2003, and I wasn't sure if I was going to go to college, and so I got just a job in my neighborhood, and I was living at home, and my mom was worried that my already modestly proportioned gray matter would atrophy without a bit of exercise. So she said if I was going to keep living at home, I would have to do something. And so I signed up for this creative writing class at this local community center, and it was a creative writing class for retirees. So I was the youngest person in this class by a good 50 years. Yeah. And it was these folks, they had no ambitions of publishing. They were just doing this for fun, and I just felt like I'd found my people. You always start a workshop, particularly one like this where people are just doing it for fun. You always start by complimenting, saying something nice about the piece. Whether it's beautiful font size or lovely printing. I mean, you've got to say something nice. And so I went up, and my story was about like an angry 19-year-old who I think the entire thing was set in the parking lot of the retail strip mall where I worked, and just involved a sort of sulky teenager smoking cigarettes, and this elderly gentleman who came every class. He came in a suit and tie. He was very dignified, and he just sort of folded his hands, and said, "I believe if you can't say anything nice, you shouldn't say anything at all." And he proceeded to say nothing for the entirety of. But I suppose that was where I realized that this was something I was interested in. Adam Johnson, who's one of my all-time favorite writers, I remember he once said that for him, writing was sort of a way of realizing that all the things that may have made him sort of useless for other occupations, a sense of rubbernecking, or a sense of daydreaming, of introspection, of exaggeration. That those qualities, when applied to writing, were exactly the things that make you a good writer.
Fantastic. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.